I don't know what I've just seen. I've seen complete and utter dominance from one team, another team who've ridden their luck, JMO, and then ran down the other end, scored a goal that looked, on the face of it, to have been disallowed. Onside, the goal goes in, and Manchester City somehow are 1-0 down at half-time.
Yeah, scoreline's not good. I think if you look at the 45 minutes, so obviously Man City have been far, far superior. I think a question mark over the quality of finishing has kept it at 0, and a bit of good goalkeeping. I think Glazer's done pretty well in, but I would rather be in City's change room right now.
Really?
Than Reds. Absolutely. Similar to West Ham. You know, you knew who the better team was on the day, and the second half, I'm sure, will pan out closer to your scoreline than mine, maybe.
Well, 7-1, I said, and everyone looked at me and went, 1? They're not going to get 1. 67% possession Manchester City had. We've got a stats screen there, and it's just very lopsided in favour of Manchester City, but the scoreline is the only thing that goes the other way, Steph.
Yeah, I think as soon as Red Star Belgrade scored, we were like, that's what happens when you don't finish your chances, and City have had plenty of them, and I think we're trying to maybe force it a little bit too much. I think we've had, Rodri's took 3 or 4 shots, we've had chances with Haaland's header, Foden's header, which we should be scoring, and maybe another day we do score them. So I think I've seen enough in that half to show that City have dominated, and in terms of creating chances, they are doing that. A bit of good goalkeeping as well. But like JMO said, I think City have probably got too much for this Belgrade side, and hopefully they can kind of put one in the back of the net in the next 45 minutes. Yeah,
the one thing I would say, Steve, is I was at the London Stadium on Saturday, same scoreline at half-time. Manchester City went in 1-0 down, and I thought they're still going to win this game because of the way that the game has played out.
Well, I'm still confident they'll win the game. I think the manager obviously be not happy with the fact that, listen, I think the chances that Steph's just mentioned there, obviously there's Haaland, there's the header. Yes, he's hit the crossbar. I think somebody like him, you'd expect to score Foden without a doubt. Anywhere else it goes in. I think Haaland's had another chance where it's possibly slight behind him, but he gets underneath it.
Took him by surprise a little bit. The defender almost pulled his head away at the last minute.
That's another one, another chance for him. But yeah, I think he, as a centre forward, you would anticipate the defender missing it. But Pep will be just sort of saying to players, whilst he'll not be happy, because there was warning signs there with them doing the counter-attack. And it was just sometimes their final ball was poor, which was actually letting them down. But he will be sort of saying, listen, keep at them. But when the chances do come, you've got to be more clinical, because they don't want another 10, 15 minutes like that, and then all of a sudden they break away again and nick another one. Then, City are in trouble. So I think they've just got to make sure that they concentrate on what they're doing, but be more clinical in finishing.
Steph, would you concur? The game plan stays the same, just got to be a bit sharper?
Yeah, I think so. I think that concentration and focus, especially when they do get the ball. I think there's been a number of times where, even though Edison had to pull off a great save before that goal, and I think you could see that there was, unless we were going to score, the game was kind of going to go like that, where we would maybe have 3 or 4 shots, but they would get one and they'd create something different. So I think when you get to this level of competition, there's always going to be a threat going forward from the opposition, and they have certainly shown that. But I think, for me, City's far superior in terms of quality, and they've got a few more options coming off the bench as well.
Yeah, JMO, we were talking about the goalkeeper for Red Star. Glazer had a really good first half, made an excellent save from, was it Rodri, where he beat it clear with one hand. 7 saves in that first half. He'd be pleased with his first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think he's probably the happiest person in the Etihad at the moment. But the problem is that all the shots, even Rodri's, was quite central. Haaland's header was quite central, obviously off target because it hits the crossbar. And I think that's if I'm trying to be Pep, which I think everyone tries to do at half time, you say to the players, you get in these positions, just do what's natural rather than expect it to happen. The quality of finishing just hasn't quite been there. There's been a few long-range shots, and for Glazer, I mean, he's buzzing, because I'm sure he was a bit like Kiki before the show, was probably thinking, not the 0-0, he's probably thinking, this is going to be a busy day for me. Am I going to be up to it? Well, at the moment, he has been, and I think he deserves the plaudits for a decent goalkeeping performance that first half.
He certainly has. We've already seen Pep roll the dice once. There's been one substitution with Jeremy Doku coming on for Bernardo Silva. Ali and Kit were talking in commentary, weren't quite sure whether that would be an injury or a tactical change. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I'm unsure. I think it could have been the fact that the manager's wanting more from that right-hand side. He might have felt as though there wasn't getting enough. I mean, yeah, there was some chances created from that side, but was the manager expecting more? Was there a slight nick on Bernardo as he got a slight injury? It didn't look like it when the play came off. It didn't look as though he was kind of speaking to the physio, and normally what tends to happen as well is you tend to go down the tunnel as well just to get some ice on it or whatever it is, just to make sure that you can kind of recover. So the manager might be looking for a little bit more penetration. Can Doku get to the byline, or can he cause the problems that he did against West Ham? Just freshen it up. So it'll be interesting to see what it is. Me personally, I think it's a tactical thing.
Yeah, interesting. Don't forget to get your WhatsApps into us. We've had a couple in, actually. One from Brad. Interesting question on Matheus Nunes. Full debut for him. First time we've seen him at the Etihad. He rolled his ankle early in that. We wondered if it might be him going off in the substitution. What did you make of Matheus Nunes' first 45, Steph?
I think we all thought in here that it was him going to be substitute for Doku and maybe Bernardo going into the middle. But I think Nunes has been lively. I think he's trying to make things happen. I think when new players come to the club, it does take them a while to get used to that rhythm and what kind of Pep wants from the team and that movement in that midfield. And especially when you're playing against a low block, it's quite difficult as a midfielder to try and get that space to kind of express yourself. I think he's done well. I think we'd probably expect a bit more coming in the second half. Now you had that first 45 minutes in the Champions League, but overall, a really good full debut, to be honest.
Yeah, and hopefully still more to come from him. Yeah. JMO, we can still see the rest of Brad's question on the screen. How about Sergio Gomez?
Yeah, I think the problem with that first half was everybody there was a little bit, I want to say easy-ozy. I'm trying to think of the right word.
It wasn't he the one pushing the boulder up the hill?
I mean, Gomez as well as Nunes, as Haaland, and I think the whole team have gone out almost like our score predictions and felt that the game was in a way already won.
Yeah.
And
we wondered this at
which
kickoff.
is what I didn't want to see.
Have we underestimated us? I'm talking about, not Manchester City, with our scorelines that we predicted.
And that was the thing. And I think, balls into the box is quite a lot of the time, as you know this when you're playing, what you do is only as good as what the person does when they receive it. Mm-hmm. So Gomez's passes, Nunes' passes, quite often they've gone to players who have taken an extra touch and then the pass becomes very ordinary. I think a little bit more speed from Gomez on the wing, from now obviously with Doku just coming on, and I think that's why it was tactical, because the first thing he did was run at people and try and take them on, whereas Bernardo Silva held the ball up and did a few tricks. This is a game where City have to actually beat the opposition, I think, now. And I think Gomez, obviously in the second half, will have an opportunity with a little bit more speed and quality to assist the 5 goals that we scored in the second half.
Okay, that's still your prediction. I'm the only one that said that Red Star would score, so my prediction remains on, but City have to score 7 for that to come true. Casper's got in touch on the WhatsApp as well, Steve. He says, who was the best City player in the first half for you?
I thought Nunes was neat and tidy. Rodri does what Rodri does. He's always very, very good in there. I would probably go with them too. I think Jim was saying, and Steph touched on it as well, it's just been sometimes the final passes from pretty much everybody. Just that final pass, the final shot. Maybe he's been a bit too eager. The shots are sometimes coming a bit too far out. When players are having the shot, they're trying to, hit it as hard as they can, and it's kind of getting miscued. But probably it's the 2 best players. I think I would go with Nunes and Rodri. But having said that, I think they can definitely, everybody, even including them 2, can add to that performance.
Yeah, so maybe go to a next gear. Mention for Ederson, Steph, we were talking as well in the West Ham game where he had pockets of the game where he was just not needed. Similarly here, but then not including the goal, he did come out and make a good punched clearance. Yeah,
I think for Ederson, it's a lot about concentration and being switched on when you need it. And I think in that West Ham game, when it was 1-1, he makes a vital save. And in this game today, he made that vital save. He's able to make himself big. And JMO could probably talk more technically than me, but I think you need your big players to produce big moments. And even though it's the first group game of Champions League, that could keep City in this game in the second half. But he's an important player for the team. He comes up with big saves, and none more than he did in the Champions League final.
Boom.
Yeah. There's half-time. Still a lot of confidence in this studio and no doubt in the Etihad that Manchester City will turn this around and get the job done. But with the fact that the team started slowly and passed up some good chances against West Ham last week, and they seemingly have done the same in this, is there a bit of a hangover from the international break?
No, I think if there is one consistency with both games, it's the quality of the goalkeeping from the opposition team.
Ariola
was fantastic on the weekend, and Glazer's been doing. He's done everything right. So far.
Glazer's out. It's not the first time you hear that in this city. That's what City fans all want.
No comment. But yeah,
well done.
There comes a point, that you have to say as a team, if we're shooting and hitting the target and the goalkeeper's saving it, is it our fault? Well, arguably yes, if you choose to make a different shot, but 7 shots on target means that City are getting enough shots on, as I said, like West Ham. And I thought that was the best I've seen City play against West Ham this season. So I'm very confident there will be goals pluralised.
Okay. How confident are you that you've now figured out our game, which we were playing before kickoff? There was a very difficult clue came up. We were basically talking about all of the different nations that Manchester City have played against in European competitions. Serbia is the 17th nation they've come up against. So we've got these tiles up here, and I've got to say, it's been absolutely easy until JMO turned over second from bottom on the right-hand side, a little Polaroid photo of Nedemanua.
Has anyone watched up the answer?
Well, I think
probably half the City fans who. Yeah. Okay,
so
right.
John's got it right on WhatsApp.
Okay.
So, do you want the answer, or are you going to have a punt? You've had 45 minutes to think about it.
And I've asked everyone else, so I'll let you say what John said.
Okay. I don't have what John said, but it's Denmark, right?
Yeah. Of course,
Nedham's won the goal that he always brags about when he's in the studio here. So that's the clue there.
Of course, I will never.
Okay, teams are in the tunnel, so let's rattle through. I'm going to take second on the right for Steph, which is a 2. Oh, it's keeping us waiting. Oh, there we go.
Oh, why didn't I get that one?
It's windmill.
It was his team game.
Well, it seems to be, doesn't it? It's a windmill.
Are we not a team,
Any
though?
help? Well, seemingly not.
Well, I haven't got a clue.
And no guess? Help her out, Steve. Dutch, Netherlands, I think it is, isn't it? Home of the windmills. Steve, you'll take the other 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we'll go 2. We're going to see the rest of them. Oh, well, I know this because I've just come back from there, and those things are absolutely delicious. Oh. They're called pastel de natas.
Oh, lovely.
Bernardo Silva loves them. Little egg custards.
Portugal, then?
Yeah, there you go. Portugal, Sporting Lisbon. Mateus Nunes was playing for them. 1.
Come on then, chocolate. That will be Belgium.
Belgium, yeah. Next one. Ooh, number 8. Do you know what?
Gundogan.
Well, number 8, it might be Gundogan. Oh, number 8.
Oh, we've had 2.
I don't know. Do you know what? We're going to do this at the end of the game because everybody is on the edge of their seats, but the teams are in the tunnel. So it's time we go back to our crack team. Kit Simons and Ali Mann for exclusive commentary on City TV.
Well, welcome back. The team's out for the second half. The first half stats